Section 20, Office Policies, Arizona Commissioner's Standards, Requirements for Licensees. Introduction, the Brokerage Blueprint. When Jessica first became a broker, she thought success came down to production. More agents, more closings, more volume. But after a few months of managing people, answering questions, and reviewing transactions, she realized something different. The most successful brokerages weren't the busiest ones. They were the most organized ones. Agents knew what to do. Files were easy to track. Advertising was consistent. Compliance was built into the system. And the reason behind all of that? Strong office policies. This section is where everything comes together: supervision, compliance, and daily operations, through one key requirement. Every brokerage must have clear, written systems that guide how business is done. The broker's responsibility, more than just oversight. Arizona designated brokers are responsible for managing the physical office and supervising all licensees within the brokerage. Under AAC R428-1103, brokers must establish a system to monitor compliance with statutes, rules, and their own internal policies. This means brokers are not just leaders, they are system builders. For example, if an agent forgets to submit paperwork, that's not just an agent issue, it's a system issue. If advertising violations occur, it's not just the agent, it's a lack of oversight. Jessica realized that a brokerage without policies is like running a business without rules. And that's where risk begins. Why office policies matter in the real-world office policies are not just documents, they are the playbook for how a brokerage operates. For example, when a new agent joins the brokerage, they should know how to submit contracts, where to store documents, what forms to use, how to handle client funds, what is allowed in advertising. Without clear policies, every agent operates differently, and that creates inconsistency and risk. Jessica once had 2 agents handle the same situation in completely different ways. One followed proper procedures, the other didn't. That's when she realized policies create consistency across the entire brokerage. Written policies are required, not optional. Arizona requires brokers with more than one agent or office to establish and enforce written policies, procedures, and systems. These policies can be in a printed manual or provided digitally, such as through a website or internal platform. But they must be made available to licensees before they enter into an independent contractor agreement. For example, if Jessica hires a new agent, she cannot wait until after onboarding to share policies. The agent must have access to those expectations up front. This ensures that every agent understands how the brokerage operates before they begin working under that broker. What office policies? Typically, cover office policies should address all major areas of brokerage operations. These commonly include delegation of authority, employment agreements, document storage, transaction procedures, and compliance systems. For example, a policy might outline who is authorized to sign documents on behalf of the broker, how contracts must be submitted for review, or how long records must be retained. Another example is advertising review. A brokerage may require all ads to be approved before being published to ensure compliance with Arizona law. Policies also cover trust funds, how they are handled, recorded, and reconciled, as well as the role of unlicensed assistants and what tasks they are allowed to perform. Jessica realized that every problem she encountered could usually be traced back to one question: do we have a policy for this? Compliance systems, catching problems before they happen. R428-1103 requires brokers to have systems for monitoring compliance. This is where policies turn into action. For example, a brokerage might implement transaction checklists to ensure all documents are complete, deadlines for submitting paperwork, regular file audits, advertising review processes, training sessions for agents. These systems are designed to catch mistakes early, before they become violations. Jessica started using transaction tracking software and weekly compliance reviews. Almost immediately, issues that used to slip through were caught early. She realized that compliance isn't about reacting, it's about preventing problems before they happen. Education and ongoing training office policies also include providing agents with ongoing education about federal, state, and local real estate laws. For example, updates on fair housing, disclosure requirements, or changes in ADRI rules should be communicated regularly. Jessica made it a point to hold monthly meetings to review common mistakes and updates in the law. This kept her agents informed and reduced risk across the brokerage. Professional entities, PC and PLLC structure. Many licensees operate through professional entities such as professional corporations, PCs, or professional limited liability companies, PLLCs. Arizona law requires that these entities designate a licensed broker as the designated broker. This person must be a natural person, a real individual, not another entity. For example, if a brokerage is structured as an LLC, one licensed broker must be named as the designated broker responsible for supervision and compliance. Jessica realized that even though entities can provide business advantages, they do not replace personal responsibility. The designated broker is still accountable. Naming requirements for PC and PLLC. The name of a professional corporation or PLLC must follow strict guidelines. It must include the full or last name of the licensee and clearly indicate that it is a PC or PLLC. For example, Smith Realty Group would not be allowed if it is a PC or PLLC. Instead, it must be something like John Smith, PLLC, or Smith & Smith, PC. Fictitious names are not allowed for these entities. Jessica saw how branding preferences sometimes conflict with compliance, and compliance always wins. Reporting changes to ADRA. If there are changes to ownership, management, or structure of a corporation, LLC, or partnership, those changes must be reported to ADRA within 10 days. For example, if a new partner joins the brokerage or ownership percentages change, the broker must notify ADRA. Another example is changes to articles of incorporation or organization. These updates must also be reported promptly. Jessica realized that compliance isn't just about transactions, it's about keeping the business structure itself up to date. Real-world example, the "we didn't have a policy" problem. An agent mishandled a transaction and failed to submit documents on time. When the broker reviewed the situation, there was no clear policy outlining submission deadlines or procedures. The issue wasn't just the agent, it was the lack of a system. After that, the broker implemented strict policies and tracking systems. The same issue never happened again. Jessica saw firsthand how policies don't just fix problems, they prevent them. Bringing it all together. Systems create success. Office policies are not just about compliance. They are about creating a consistent, professional, and scalable brokerage. They define expectations, guide agent behavior, protect clients, reduce risk, ensure compliance with Arizona law. Jessica realized that the best brokerages are not the ones that figure things out as they go. They are the ones that build systems that make the right actions automatic. Because in Arizona, real estate, success isn't just about closing deals. It's about running a brokerage that can stand up to scrutiny every single day. Online discussion. 1. Why are written office policies required for brokerages with multiple agents or offices? Answer. To ensure consistent operations, proper supervision, and compliance with Arizona laws and rules across the entire brokerage. 2. What is the biggest risk of not having clear office policies? Answer. The biggest risk is inconsistent practices among agents, leading to compliance violations, errors, and potential disciplinary action. 3. Why must changes to ownership or structure be reported to ADRI? Answer. To maintain accurate records of who controls the brokerage and ensure proper supervision and accountability under Arizona law.